Blaise Pascal said, "A person's unhappiness comes from his or her inability to be alone in a room by oneself." It's in solitude and silence that we get quiet enough to listen to the voices and the emotions and the thoughts that we're carrying with us throughout the entire day. You need time in the day to be alone with yourself, because yourself is actually the only person that you can truly be yourself with.
So one of the great things about being alone in nature and having that solitude is you can really start to ask questions that you wouldn't normally think about in your day-to-day life. So like the trees, you look at them and you take them for face value. They're green. That's all you really think about. But how often you think about the cells that make them and the processes that go on within the tree when the leaves change colors, or when the leaves fall off the trees and then grow back the next year. You can really start to fully appreciate the complexity for life and how God created it, and how everything that He created is good.
My favorite moment of Jesus getting away to be alone with God was in the wilderness during his temptation. Most people think that is at a point where Jesus is at his weakest, without food or any sort of shelter. He was in the wilderness for those 40 days, 40 nights. But at that point was where Christ was actually his strongest. Stripped away of all distractions, all other forms of dealing with temptation, he had nothing but God. And in that moment, when Satan came, he had the power of the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord, to flee temptation, to overcome the devil. And the same thing can happen with us. And when we get alone with God, we begin to take away the distractions, the things we use to bring security and comfort, to rely solely on the power of God, to rely solely on Jesus. And in those times of solitude, and getting alone with God, we begin to see His strength, we begin to hear His voice, and experience the peace that He has for us.